Will a rough Lakers showing this season lead to a LeBron-Steph link-up next season? Do the Memphis Grizzlies have a case for the best starting lineup in the league? Is there a bigger swing factor on Vegas win-loss odds than Zion Williamson? I'll ask Matt and Hayes all of these questions and more today on Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On NBA. Thanks so much for making us your first listen of the day. We are free. We are available wherever you get your podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season, it's just around the corner. Week 0 just went down in college football. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. I'm Doug Branson, host of Locked On Hornets and your Shot Clock Sherpa, guiding you through the NBA's biggest stories every day with the help of Locked On's local experts. And I have two of the best with me, as always, from the Locked On Nuggets podcast. He is a senior NBA writer for the Action Network. It's Matt Moore. Matt, a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant signed combo card sold for $12.932 million on Saturday night, breaking the record for the most ever paid for a sports card. Do you have anything that valuable hanging around in a box in your garage?
Let's see. I have a copy of Fight Club signed by David Fincher, which is
that's pretty cool.
Not nothing. But my most valuable thing is I have a complete collection of every single card of Alonzo Mourning from 1990, from his rookie year, 1992 through 1999, including his gold USA basketball card. I'm sure that one would get me like $20, $25. So really, I'm right there.
Okay, well, we'll talk. I mean, I have some value for those Hornets ones. Maybe we'll talk after the show and see what you want for them. Hayes, how about you from the Locked On Bulls podcast? He's also a Bears and Bulls creator for Bleacher Report. It's Hayes. Hayes, what do you have in your garage?
Oh, nothing that valuable. I mean, I do have a old worn down Ford Mustang that me and my son are supposed to repair together, but that's probably the only thing of value in there. And it's not valuable yet, but it will be soon.
What are we talking about old? Like, what when we say old, what are we talking about?
82, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Right. Older than me.
Yeah, older than me.
All right. Let's begin today's show in Los Angeles, where the speculation on the future of LeBron James, that car not older than LeBron James? Is that car older than LeBron James?
Yes, it's older than LeBron.
Yes, but it's not older than me. Can we stop talking about this and move on, please?
The speculation continues with new reporting from the Steinline's Jake Fisher. Here's Locked On Lakers with the quote and their take.
Quote, as long as LeBron James' future in Los Angeles remains uncertain, Golden State will undoubtedly be mentioned as a potential James suitor. I'm told the Warriors have called the Lakers on multiple occasions over the last 18 months to see if there's any trade pathway to pairing James with Steph Curry, who roughly a year ago at this time was teaming with LeBron for the United States senior men's national team on its run to a gold medal at the Paris Olympics.
So much depends on what happens this year. If the Lakers are really, play really well and things work well between LeBron and Luka and AR and, Ayton is a good fill-in and they've got all this they've got some more flexibility next year and they can trade more draft picks. Like if you take at face value what LeBron's priorities are, which is playing competitively, I think he wants to be on a team that can realistically say, we have got a chance to be in the conversation. I don't think he needs to be on the favorite. That's really kind of hard to engineer. And that is the Lakers. They're not going to be the favorite, but they can make a credible case. And if this year goes well, he might look at the offseason and go, this is still my best chance to do it.
Okay, a couple of things to chew on there. We'll start with this. Matt, buy or sell the idea that a good Lakers season means LeBron James would likely consider returning to Los Angeles to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely a possibility that if he decides the big question is just, does he get to that moment in July where it's time for him to start seriously training? And he decides, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm just tired. I don't want to do this. That's when guys are done, is when they don't want to do the work anymore. It takes so much work to get ready. And so that's going to be the question mark. It's just like, does he want to do this anymore? I don't know that he's not going to get the picture perfect ending that he wanted. because he lost all the power in LA. They scooped out from under Clutch Sports all of their authority and power with the Luka trade. And so he could kind of hang on and just kind of be around and have a Robert Parrish-like finish to his career, or he can go somewhere else and have a Robert Parrish-like finish to his career. And so there's like a lot of options for him to kind of pursue here. But yeah, like I could see him. I mean, he wants to be in LA. The family wants to be in LA. He's happy in LA. It's the Lakers. He's chosen to give them the most rope despite how they've treated him. I could see him hanging on for a little while longer, Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see it. It's not like LeBron's still very impactful on the court as far as, he's productive on the court. So he could definitely stick around. I don't think LeBron actually wraps up anytime soon. I think LeBron's going to still be around another 2-3 years. He's going to find another team to go on a run with. And I can never be mad at LeBron James for doing it. I think, we're going to be a while before we see LeBron hang it all up, I think.
Hayes, how real is the idea that he could link up with Steph Curry in Golden State? And if he did so, how would we view LeBron's career after he hangs it up if he goes to Golden State, for 1 or 2 seasons to try to chase after a ring?
I mean, I don't think it really changes the way that people view it. Like, do people really talk about Karl Malone going to the Lakers much? I think that they overlook that. Like, when you get to this point of the career that LeBron is at, you can do whatever you want to do. So, like, yeah, there are going to be people who write articles and think pieces on it, and they're right to do so. But as far as how we view his career long term, I don't think it's going to impact anything.
There's a pathway. Like, I was tempted to say what Hayes said, but there's a pathway here. What it takes is, like, you have to have a storybook finish. It's got to be like he goes to the Warriors and he and Draymond are fighting and it's not working and everything is rough. And then suddenly there's a meeting. There's a players only meeting and these greats come together and understand what they need to do. And then they go on a run and they win the title. And if you have that kind of narrative, it's a memorable run that everyone will remember. Like, this last Olympic run shouldn't have really been all that dramatic. It shouldn't have been all that amazing, given the fact that that USA wins gold every single time that we put serious effort towards it. But because of the way it happened, because of the Serbia game, because of the stars align, because of the narrative of it, a lot of people will remember that team as a very significant moment in Olympic history. It's kind of the same kind of deal here. So I think all of that presents the possibility of it shaping it. But the most likely outcome is, like, he goes there, they're all too old, it doesn't work. We've seen this story a million times in the NBA when old guys get together.
It's likely it doesn't work. And I think even if it did work, people would give LeBron, I mean, there's going to be a subset of people who would never give LeBron a break. But I think there will be a big enough group of people who do say, look, the age of those players, we're going to cheer for that idea. If it had happened earlier in LeBron's career, or if LeBron was leaving the Lakers in a tough position, but that won't be the case. They'll have Luka Doncic. They're already starting to build around him. So I think people will generally give him a break. Let us know what you think on YouTube, youtube.com/@LockedOnNBA. Final question, Matt. Do you think that team competitiveness will ultimately be LeBron's number one factor? This was a point brought up on that episode of Locked On Lakers, that they really identify the Cavs, the Knicks, and they'll throw in the Lakers in the conversation for competitiveness if that's LeBron's number one factor. Do you think it will be? And can the Warriors realistically compete on that level?
What's always kind of sucked about LeBron is he doesn't have a lot of creativity with his choices. Like, he's never like, oh, this would be like a really interesting basketball fit, or like, this is like a completely new narrative that I can create here. Like, the last creative thing he did was the decision with Miami. Everything else from that has just been very predictable and boring. And so, like, it's not competitiveness. He's not sitting there going OKC. And if you want to say, well, they're the champs, he can't do that. He's not going to Denver. He's not going to any of these other squads. He's not going to Orlando. He's not going to Houston. He's not going to San Antonio to play with Wemby and teach the next generation's iconic star how to handle success and fame. He's not doing that. He's going to stay in California. He's going to stay in California. He's going to stay in a major market. And if he goes to Cleveland, it's because he can craft that narrative of coming home for one more. And that is it. It's a combination of market and crafting that narrative of how he wants to finish it. Hayes said he thinks he's not finishing anytime soon. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he announces that media day. This is it. I'm hanging it up. This is a farewell tour. They're going to make money off the farewell tour whenever it happens, him and Nike.
They are. The merch itself is going to be crazy.
And I'll buy it.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm going to buy it too. So yeah, absolutely. As far as I'm staying in California, I guess this probably is the most likely scenario, even if it's like Golden State. I mean, he can always join Sacramento. Their roster doesn't make any sense. Just have fun over there. But no, Matt, you said that one thing that you said is that his choices have been kind of boring. They've been kind of boring. Let me ask you this: if he goes to the Clippers, would you consider that boring?
No, that would be a really interesting move.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, the Lakers said that they don't need me in clutch. So I'm going to go to the Clippers, win them their first title, take the throne from the Lakers, and show that LeBron James is a bigger name in sports than the Lakers. That's a bold, original move, but he'll never do that.
But if he did do it, I certainly think that you would have to rank the Clippers starting lineup as one of the best in the association. If that were to happen, we're going to talk about what starting lineups are actually the best in the NBA coming up on Locked On NBA. Plus, we get to our tournament of moves. You voted in our Elite 8 for the best signature move in NBA history. We'll get to that and more on Locked On NBA. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th. That's tomorrow. It's officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, you're eyeing a long shot division winner, or you're just ready to go ahead and crown your Super Bowl champion before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on that MVP race. That's what I'll be doing. I'm taking my flyer on Jaden Daniels of the Commanders because he's my fantasy quarterback, and I want to manifest that greatness for my team. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now because Futures Day is on FanDuel, and it's one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. More Locked On NBA ahead. Thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. So go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. On Locked On Grizzlies this morning, host Michael Cole is reacting to a Bleacher Report ranking that placed the Grizzlies' projected starting lineup in the top 10. He says there's reason to believe that trading Desmond Bane could make this one of the best starting lineups in the association. Let's hear from DeMichael.
Even without Desmond Bane, the four-man unit of Morant, Wells, Jackson, and Edey had a sparkling net rating of 21.9. This is via cleaning the glass, by the way. If you follow Locked On Grizzlies last season, you noticed that we commonly talked about how good the starting lineup's net rating was. Davies Caldwell-Pope is one of those guys. I call him more with less. Some people call them role players. Some people call them 3 and D. I call them players that you can get more with less. The ball doesn't have to be in his hands that much. He's not saying, hey, I need 3 dribbles on this possession. He's just standing in the corner over there. But when it comes there, he's going to be ready for his shot. He's still someone that the defense is going to honor. And then on the other end, he's going to play his butt off on the defensive end, giving you potentially, and what we expect, better defense than you got from Desmond Bane.
All right, so Desmond Bane out, KCP in. Matt, do you think the Grizzlies can contend for the best starting lineup in the league this coming season? And who are the teams you believe will contend for that top spot?
So I like Wells a lot, and Edey's numbers are always really good. The Grizzlies, it's like a tale of two halves, because like the first half of the season they really were that good, and the second half of the season they were not. And so it's like, whichever do you believe in? I think you have to put a couple teams ahead of them. I think you got to put look, OKC is going to be the easy one here. They won the title, but honestly, like if you look at OKC, they had to kind of flex in and out who they were starting. And I don't necessarily know that you would absolutely take all these guys on every single team. So let's put OKC aside. Denver, I think, has a really good kind of argument for this, that with Jokic and then Cam Johnson, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, that combination with Christian Brown, you've got defense, you've got offense, you've got shooting. You've got Jokic, manning it all. It's got to have an elite player in it, I think, for it to be in this kind of conversation. A couple other ones that actually were able to be really dominant throughout the entire season last year that I think are interesting. The Clippers with Kawhi were amazing. Now, I don't know if they're going to start Bradley Beal. I hope not. I hope Beal comes off the bench. Like, they should just be doing Harden, Dunn, Kawhi, John Collins, and Zoo. But if they shift it, I'm not going to like it as much. The other one I will say here, Cleveland. I mean, look at Cleveland, man. Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Allen. That 4 is incredible. And you can slot in any fifth guy you kind of want. But I do think that not having the fifth guy set is a big deal, too. I could talk for hours on this, Hayes, but I would lean towards maybe Denver if we're going in this direction.
Yeah, Denver. You would go Denver in a case like this, and it makes sense for you to go Denver. No, but it does make sense. No, all jokes aside, it does make sense. I think you know where I'm going to go with this.
Oh man, really?
Yeah,
Houston Rockets.
Come on, the Houston Rockets got exactly what they needed. They needed somebody who can go and get them a bucket outside of just like the flow of the offense. And Kevin Durant is that. Say what you will about Kevin Durant. I love how people have talked about Kevin Durant like he is some washed up bum just because of his age, but he was still top 5 in the league in scoring on highly efficient scoring on top of all of that as well. So no, I like what they're doing here. I think the Houston Rockets have really good balance offense and defensively. I'm still a little bit worried about offering Sengun. I'm not going to lie, but I would put them high up there on the list of starting fives here.
Well, who are they starting? So Amen, Fred VanVleet, who's might be washed, but we'll give him another year. KD and Sengun. Who's your fifth? You going Jabari? You want double big?
I think I'd go Jabari there.
See, I would too, but we got to say this. Jabari got benched for Amen. Like, he came back from injury and didn't get a starting spot back. Like, we don't know that Jabari is a starter in this league. I like Jabari and think he can be better than what he's shown, especially without Jalen Green around. But I think we got to be like a little questionable. Like, we're not absolutely sure that Jabari's a starter. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think 100% sure. No, I can't say that I'm sure. I feel confident in it, but I can't say that I'm 100% confident in it.
Yeah, and I think with Denver, all 5 guys, you're like, yeah, that's a starter. So I think that to me is going to be the edge.
Okay.
Among lineups, starting line, or really just lineups with 500 or more possessions last season, according to Cleaning the Glass, Memphis plus 27.1 differential between offense and defense. That Denver lineup that you mentioned, Matt, with Jamal Murray, Braun, Porter, Gordon, and Jokic was plus 12.8. Another lineup to watch, I think, is Orlando, who was just below average with Joseph Caldwell-Pope, who is going to be minus and switched out for Desmond Bane. They were a plus 10.2. Actually, they were above average. So I think that's another lineup to watch as well. Matt, with all this talk of the importance of depth in today's NBA, should we be valuing starting lineup performances the same way, or should we be looking at this whole conversation somewhat differently?
I always kind of lean towards who's your closer. George Karl used to say this. He was like, why do these guys care about who's starting? And who closes the game is way more important. I think your best lineup is actually the most important thing. If you know that the game matters for seeding, if it's a playoff game, if it's the moment where it's like, we got to get this one, we want to get this one, who are the 5 guys that you're putting on the floor, and how good is that? Because it's okay for you to balance it out by being like, hey, we want this guy coming off the bench because he's able to get more shots up and it kind of balances out our scoring. Like, balance, I think, is important. You don't want these dips where it's like, oh yeah, I see this in Denver all the time. You're up 10 and then all of a sudden you're up 4 when Jokic leaves, and then he comes back in, you're down 10. Like, those swings are terrible. So I think being able to put out the lineup that you need, I think, is the most important thing rather than the starting lineup.
Thoughts, Hayes? Are you a starting lineup or closing lineup guy?
No, I think your closing lineup is the most important thing there. I mean, we've seen lineups with players in the starting line. Heck, the Bulls went to Eastern Conference Finals with Keith Bogans as their starting 2, but it wasn't their closing lineup. So yeah, who and how confident you are in your closing lineup is a lot more important in the modern NBA than I think who your starters are per se.
All right, coming up on Locked On NBA, how important will Zion Williamson be to the win-loss total when it's all said and done for the New Orleans Pelicans? Jake Madison makes the case that he could be the biggest swing factor among any teams and could cover up all the sins of the front office there in New Orleans. We'll play that clip, and we'll get to our tournament of moves to decide the best NBA signature move in NBA history. That's all ahead on Locked On NBA. Today's episode of Locked On NBA is brought to you by OpenPhone. If you're running a business, every missed call could be a missed opportunity. Think about it. Last time you had a service emergency, did you wait for a call back? Probably not. That's why you need OpenPhone. It's the #1 business phone system that streamlines your customer communication and helps you scale all from an app that's on your phone or your computer. I love that as a business owner, I don't need to carry 2 phones. With OpenPhone, I can manage my business calls and my texts from one app, whether I'm at my desk or I'm on the go. And their AI agent handles after-hours calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so that I never miss a customer. And right now, OpenPhone is offering my listeners 20% off your first 6 months. Just go to openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you're switching from another provider, they will even port your number over for free. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. More Locked On NBA ahead. Thanks again for making Locked On NBA your first listen every day. I want to play you something from Locked On Pelicans. Jake Madison isn't giving up on the Pelicans' prospects for a good season, despite some shaky moves by newly minted president of basketball operations, Joe Dumars. And it all comes down to who else? Zion Williamson.
Zion did look like a different player when he was healthy last year. When he came back from the hamstring injury, you could see he was physically in shape. 31 points in 36 minutes. That's the highest of his career. 9.1 rebounds. That is by far the highest of his career. Almost 7 assists per game, 6.7. That is also by far the highest of his career. Steals were the highest. Blocks were the highest. If you can get Zion Williamson to be that guy over the course of a season, nothing else Joe Dumars does will matter. You can hate the Derek Queen trade. You could not like the Jeremiah Fears pick. You could not like them signing Kevon Looney or whatever he will do in the future. If you get Zion to be 31, 9, and 7, everything else is just details, noise, whatever you want to say it. If you get Zion bought in like this and doing that, the whole trajectory of this franchise completely changes.
All right, what do you think, Hayes? Is there a bigger what-if factor, a Vegas win total table flipper in the NBA than a full season of healthy Zion playing at those numbers? Can it heal all of Dumars' sins?
Yes. If you can get Zion Williamson to play at that level and be healthy for a season, let's just say he plays 70 games or more, or just let's make the mark at 70 games. That does so much for making everything else with the Pelicans so much simpler. If you can get that to be Zion, not just for 1 year, if you can get that to be Zion's future for forever, the next handful of years, everything changes with the Pelicans. Every single thing changes. That's how impactful Zion can be when he's actually healthy and on the basketball court. And it's just, we just haven't seen it enough to remember it. And so if you're able to do that, if whatever happens, you get a healthy Zion and Zion that's locked in and playing at that level, you now have your franchise is back on track. You have your guy, you have your franchise player, and now building everything else around that becomes a lot easier.
I think the idea of the Pelicans is really tough to kind of get our heads around because it's like, oh, they're terrible, but they're always injured, but they're terrible, but they're always injured. Let's do like some numbers. Hayes said 70 games. Zion's played 70 games once in his career. It was 2024. They won 49 games that season, to Hayes' point. Here's the problem. He played 30 last season. They were 10-20 in those games when Zion played last year. So this is like an important thing when you're analyzing or you're looking at, or you're trying to form an opinion about an NBA team, is too often we're like, well, this guy was hurt. That's why the record was bad. This guy was hurt, without paying attention to how they were when that guy was healthy. And when Zion was healthy last year, they were a 33% win percentage team because they fell apart and were awful. And I was like, well, what about with Trey Murphy? Maybe that's like the difference. Is Trey Murphy was also hurt a lot. No, when they had Zion and Trey Murphy together, they were still 7-15, 32%. Like, they did not win. I don't know what it's going to take for this team to make the. I think, honestly, the biggest thing is just like Trey Murphy's going to have to be the bellwether. They got to get the floor up. You got to have somebody. Trey Murphy, Jeremiah Fears, maybe. Like somebody's got to set the floor for this team. So it's like, you know what you're getting every single night. And when I look at a team and I know that they don't have a floor, I look at the coach. That's where I look immediately. This is the year for Willie Green. He's going to have to get this together. The guys love him. The guys love him by all accounts. But they're going to have to set a higher floor. Regardless of how many Zion plays, you can't rely on that because it could end at any second. You got to have a formula that works night in and night out, whether Zion's in the lineup or not.
All right, let us know what you think on YouTube, youtube.com/@LockedOnNBA, where you voted on our tournament of moves. And we move on to the Elite 8 matchup. Kareem's Skyhook, the number 1 seed, goes up against the number 4 seed, Dr. J's reverse scoop layup, a.k.a. the shot. YouTube voted it's 83 to 17% in favor of the Skyhook. Overwhelming win among the YouTube vote. Matt and Hayes each have a vote to decide this. Before you decide, I want to set the stage with some comments on this post, the poll that was posted for this matchup. From @JohnCraig4820 said, Dr. J, so much more entertaining. People have been brainwashed. And we got a reply to that from Kurt Cobain, D8K, who said, Kareem was the all-time leading scorer for over 30 years because of the Skyhook. Lame looking or not, it worked very, very well. Hayes, I'll toss it to you first. Set the stage for this matchup and give us your pick.
Man, it's going to be the Skyhook for me. I think that it's just a much more iconic move. It just, it's difficult. It was a very difficult one, but the Skyhook, for everything that we talked about so much over the course of this tournament, there's still nobody to really imitate the Skyhook and do it as consistently and as effectively. And there's a reason why a lot of Wemby should be using the Skyhook. And hopefully he can get it. So to me, it's going to be the Skyhook. Matt is very
Hayes, don't lock in your vote yet. Don't hit the big red button that is in front of you to lock in your vote, because Matt was despondent by your selection of the Skyhook over the reverse scoop. So give Matt an opportunity to sell you here, because I think he's going to go with Dr. J.
Okay. When you're watching a game on national TV, Hayes, and they do the video of this game is brought to you by the National Basketball Association, rights reserved, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what the video that they show in that highlight is? It's not the Skyhook. Do you know when they're showing iconic moments, when you have that one, the great video from like a decade ago where it's like, I want you to live for, are they showing the Skyhook? No, it doesn't make any of these iconic packages, man. That move, he shows the ball. He shows it to Kareem's big gangly, doesn't actually want to play defense ass. And then he scores on him. It is an absolutely iconic move. You mentioned it's never been replicated, never been duplicated, because nobody really wants to try. You want to know why? Because they would just simply put a good elbow into that midsection and push him out. He was knocking off these points in the 70s when everybody was distracted by cocaine. I am begging you. This is the move. Okay? The scoop, that Dr. J move is absolutely the peak of perfection. We look at the reverse layup. How many great reverse layups have you seen? And then how many have you seen better than Dr. J's?
I'm surprised that Hayes didn't go with the reverse scoop insofar as I don't know if it inspired, but it certainly was then followed up by the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan, who obviously won many championships for the Chicago Bulls. So I thought there would be a little love there. Before you lock in your vote, Matt, why do you think the YouTube vote was so overwhelmingly in favor of the Skyhook? Why do people gravitate towards that over so many other things?
Two things. It's all branding. That's it. It's that Skyhook is a very strong brand, and it's a instantly recognizable move. And then two, Lakers. That's it, man. This is just Lakers. That's it. Bandwagon, bandwagon, bandwagon. If you're a real hoop head, you understand the glory of Dr. J and how important he was to this sport. This is an opportunity to recognize that, Hayes.
All right, Hayes. Hayes, you haven't locked in your vote yet. You haven't hit the big red button. What do you think?
Skyhook.
Honestly, I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to go with you, Matt. Honestly did. I felt like you made an amazing case.
He made an amazing case. He moved me. Skyhook.
I can't do anything more than bring cocaine into it. That's as far as I can go.
All right, one more matchup here, and this is in the same bracket. So this is in the barbecue chicken region. So we'll find out who Kareem matches up with here. We've got Dirk Nowitzki's one-legged shot, the very opposite of the branding that Matt Moore was talking about, because no one branded it. I cannot believe that no one branded this shot with some kind of name, but his one-legged shot is the 3 seed over the 7 seed, Tim Duncan's bank shot. YouTube voted, and it is another overwhelming vote. This surprised me a lot. 80% of you said it's Dirk Nowitzki over Tim Duncan. Hayes, let's see. Who do we go with first there? We went with Hayes first.
Me last
first
time.
matchup.
Let Matt go.
All right,
first.
so Matt, make your case.
Yeah, I was going to go with Duncan's bank shot to be contrarian here because I really do love it. I love the geometry of it. I love the consistency of it. I love the fact that it's like, it's nothing super. It's the opposite of Dr. J's move, which should have knocked off this nonsensical skyhook nonsense. But like the bank shot is so reliable and so consistent and such a great high efficiency, can't do anything about it shot. I will go with Dirk's one-legger because I do think that Dirk's one-legger really does kind of speak to a generation of fans. One of the things that I think is interesting about Duncan is like he doesn't have a generation because he played so long. That early 2000s is Shaq and then Kobe, and then late 2000s is LeBron, and then 2010s is LeBron and then Steph. And like there's not like a Duncan era, but Dirk has like 2011 is like that was Dirk's season, and everybody's going to have their memories of them knocking off that team with that shot. So I will begrudgingly and very reluctantly give the favorite here the edge, and will take Dirk's one-legged shot over Duncan's bank shot.
That's the right choice there. I agree. It's the one-legged shot from Dirk. It's just, and you know, not to take away, we've talked very glowingly about Duncan and the bank shot the whole entire tournament because it is, and there's a lot more that goes into it than what I think people realize it on the surface level. But Dirk's one-legged shot is just so iconic to me. Like it's another one of those things that Dirk's shot, and you could see a silhouette of it. You can see whatever you know exactly what it is, and it's been a little people have tried to duplicate it, but not to the same degree because they don't have either the same length or the same release that Dirk had on it. So I'll go with Dirk here with that one-legged shot.
Okay, it's a clean sweep for Dirk over Tim Duncan, and I'm going to put the matchup between Kareem and his skyhook versus Dirk and his one-legged shot. I'm going to put it up right after the show, so you can go ahead and vote for this first Final Four matchup. We'll do the next Elite Eight matchup tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll see if Hayes will still stick with Kareem skyhook over Dirk's one-legged shot. We'll see where Matt falls as well. We'll see what the YouTube vote is on Wednesday. If you like what you heard today, subscribe to Locked On NBA wherever you get podcasts, including YouTube. Thanks to Matt and Hayes for their expertise every day. Thank you for making Locked On NBA your first listen. Go have your voice heard in our survey. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, be kind to each other, and we're going to see you right back here tomorrow for more Locked On NBA.